I worked extra shifts to support our family, while my husband secretly gambled it all away. Now I'm a single mom with 80K debt and he wants me back. I've been married to Ryan, 34M, for 8 years now. We met in college. I was studying nursing and he was majoring in business with dreams of running his own company someday. We hit it off immediately, bonding over our shared love of outdoor activities and our ambitious career goals. After dating for 3 years, we got married in a small ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family. The early years of our marriage were wonderful. I started working as a nurse at the local hospital, while Ryan worked various jobs in construction, gaining experience and saving money to start his own business. We were young, in love, and excited about our future together. When I got pregnant with our daughter 2 years into our marriage, we were over the moon. Ryan was so supportive throughout the pregnancy, attending every doctor's appointment and even taking a birthing class with me. Our daughter Emma was born healthy and beautiful. Ryan was an amazing father from the start, always eager to help with diaper changes and midnight feedings. He would spend hours just holding her, talking about all the things he wanted to teach her as she grew up. It was during this time that Ryan finally felt ready to start his own construction company. With our savings and a small loan from his parents, he launched Ryan's Renovations when Emma was just 6 months old. The first couple of years of Ryan's business were tough but promising. He worked long hours, often coming home exhausted but excited about the progress he was making. I supported him every step of the way, taking on extra shifts at the hospital to help with our finances and taking care of Emma when he had to work weekends. Despite the challenges, we felt like a team, working together towards our shared dreams. When Emma was 3, we decided to try for another baby. Our son, Liam, was born a year later. Ryan was just as involved in loving with Liam as he had been with Emma. However, I started noticing changes in his behavior around this time. He seemed more stressed, staying up late to work on quotes and invoices. He told me business was slow, but he was sure things would pick up soon. For the past few years, our relationship has been strained due to financial issues. Ryan's business wasn't doing as well as we had hoped, and we often struggled to make ends meet. I picked up even more extra shifts at the hospital to help out, thinking we were in this together. Little did I know, Ryan had a secret that was draining our finances. Last week, I was going through our bank statements when I noticed some strange transactions. Large sums of money were being withdrawn from our joint savings account almost every weekend. These withdrawals had been going on for months, and I couldn't believe I hadn't noticed earlier. When I confronted Ryan about it, he initially tried to brush it off, saying it was for business expenses. But as I pressed further, showing him the pattern of withdrawals, he finally broke down and admitted the truth. He had been gambling. It turns out Ryan had been visiting a casino about an hour away from our home every weekend for the past year. He claimed it started innocently enough. A client had invited him to the casino after they finished a big project, and Ryan had won a few $100s. The rush of winning, combined with the stress of his struggling business, led him back to the casino the next weekend. And the next, and the next. Ryan swore it started as a way to blow off steam and potentially make some extra money for the family. He told me about nights where he'd win thousands of dollars, convinced that he'd found a way to solve all our financial problems. But of course, those wins were fleeting. More often, he'd gamble away hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars in a single night. I was devastated. We had been saving that money for our children's education and our retirement. Now, a significant chunk of it was gone. Ryan swore he'd stop, but I found it hard to trust him. He had been lying to me for an entire year, sneaking off to gamble while I worked extra hours to support our family. To make matters worse, I discovered that Ryan had taken out several personal loans to fuel his gambling habit. He owed nearly $50,000 to various lenders, and the interest was piling up. When I asked him how he planned to pay it back, he just shrugged and said he was hoping for a big win that would solve all our problems. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was like he was living in a fantasy world, completely disconnected from the reality of our situation. As I dug deeper into our finances, I uncovered more lies. Ryan had been neglecting to pay our mortgage for the past 3 months, using that money for gambling instead. He had maxed out 2 credit cards I didn't even know existed. Our dream of sending Emma to dance classes and Liam to soccer camp this summer now seemed impossible. I feel betrayed and angry. Ryan's actions have put our family's future at risk. I've always been careful with money, trying to build a stable future for our kids. Now, it feels like all my hard work has been for nothing. I keep thinking about all those nights I spent working overtime at the hospital, exhausted but determined to help our family get ahead. All those times I skipped lunch or put off buying new clothes for myself to save money. And all the while, Ryan was throwing our hard-earned money away at a casino. What hurts the most is the breach of trust. Ryan and I have always been a team. We've faced challenges together before. When I had complications during my pregnancy with Liam and had to stop working earlier than planned, when Ryan's truck broke down and we had to scramble to buy a new one for his business. Through it all, we've always been honest with each other, working together to find solutions. Now, I feel like I don't even know the man I married. Ryan wants us to work through this together. He says he'll go to Gamblers Anonymous meetings and swears he'll never set foot in a casino again. He's promised to be completely transparent about our finances from now on, offering to give me control of all the accounts. But I'm not sure I can trust him anymore. The thought of staying married to someone who could lie to me for so long and risk our family's financial security makes me sick. I'm considering separation, but I'm worried about how it will affect our kids. Emma and Liam adore their father, and I don't want to break up our family. Emma is old enough to understand that something is wrong. She's been asking why Daddy seems so sad lately and why we're not going on our annual camping trip this year. Liam is too young to really understand, but he's sensitive to the tension in the house. He's been having more tantrums lately, and I can't help but think it's related to the stress we're all under. At the same time, I can't see how I can ever trust Ryan with money again. How can I believe him when he says he'll stop gambling? How do I know he won't relapse the next time his business hits a rough patch? And even if he does stop gambling, how are we supposed to dig ourselves out of this financial hole he's created? I never thought I'd be in this position. Ryan and I always talked about growing old together, watching our kids graduate college and spoiling our grandchildren. Now, I'm lying awake at night, wondering if I should be looking for a divorce lawyer. Am I overreacting? Should I give Ryan another chance? Or should I protect myself and my children by leaving? I'm completely lost on what to do next. Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. It's been about 3 weeks since I discovered Ryan's gambling problem, and a lot has happened. I wanted to thank everyone for their advice and support. It really helped me gain some perspective on the situation. After my initial post, I decided to take some time to process everything before making any drastic decisions. I told Ryan I needed space, and he agreed to stay with his brother for a while. It was hard explaining to the kids why Daddy was going away for a bit. Emma kept asking if it was because of something she did, which broke my heart. We told her that Mommy and Daddy just needed some time to figure out grown-up things, and that both of us still loved her and Liam very much. During this time apart, I did a lot of thinking and digging into our finances. I spent hours going through bank statements, credit card bills, and loan documents. What I discovered was even worse than I initially thought. Not only had Ryan gambled away our savings and taken out personal loans, but he had also maxed out several credit cards in my name. I was horrified to find out that our total debt was close to $80,000, not the $50,000 I originally believed. I also found out that Ryan had been lying about the state of his business for months. He hadn't been paying his employees regularly, and several of them had quit. There were angry voicemails from clients about unfinished projects. It seemed like Ryan's renovations was on the brink of collapse. I confronted Ryan about this additional debt and the state of his business. He broke down completely. He admitted that his gambling addiction was far worse than he'd let on. He confessed that he had even borrowed money from his employees, promising to pay them back with non-existent company profits. He told me about nights where he'd gamble until dawn, then go straight to work sites, exhausted and filled with shame. Ryan also revealed that his gambling had started earlier than I thought. He admitted that he'd first visited the casino over 2 years ago, around the time Liam was born. The stress of a new baby, combined with some financial setbacks in his business, had led him to seek an escape. What started as an occasional night out quickly spiraled into a full-blown addiction. Seeing the full extent of the damage Ryan had caused, I realized I couldn't continue in this marriage. The trust was completely broken, and I couldn't risk my children's future any further. I contacted a lawyer and started the process of filing for divorce. When I told Ryan about my decision, he begged me to reconsider. He promised to sell his business, get a steady job, and work to pay off all the debt. He even suggested we move in with his parents to save money. But I stood firm. I told him that while I hoped he would get help for his addiction, I couldn't stay in a marriage where I constantly had to worry about our financial stability. The hardest part was telling our children. Emma is old enough to understand that something is seriously wrong, and she's been asking a lot of questions. We decided to be honest with her, in an age-appropriate way, explaining that Daddy made some mistakes with money and that we need to live apart for a while. She cried and asked if she would still see her dad. We assured her that she would, but that things would be different from now on. Liam is too young to really understand, but he's definitely picking up on the tension in the house. He's been more clingy than usual, not wanting to let me out of his sight. Right now, I'm focused on protecting myself and my children financially. My lawyer is helping me separate our finances and ensure that Ryan can't access any more credit in my name. I'm also working with a financial advisor to come up with a plan to tackle the debt Ryan left us with. It's overwhelming, but I'm determined to create a stable future for my kids. I've had to make some tough decisions. I've put our house on the market. We simply can't afford the mortgage payments anymore. I'm looking for a smaller apartment for me and the kids. I've also had to withdraw Emma from her beloved dance classes and explain to her that we can't afford them right now. Seeing the disappointment on her face was heartbreaking, but I'm trying to teach her about financial responsibility, even at her young age. My parents have been incredibly supportive through all of this. They were shocked when I told them about Ryan's gambling, but they've rallied around me and the kids. My mom has been coming over to watch the kids when I have to meet with lawyers or work extra shifts. My dad has been helping me understand some of the more complex financial and legal issues I'm dealing with. Ryan's family, on the other hand, has been less supportive. His parents seem to be in denial about the severity of his gambling addiction. They keep telling me that every marriage has its rough patches, and that I should stand by Ryan through this tough time. They don't seem to understand the extent of the financial damage he's caused or the breach of trust that's occurred. Their attitude has made the situation even more stressful. It's been a tough few weeks, but I'm starting to feel more in control. I know the road ahead won't be easy, but I'm determined to create a stable and secure future for my kids, even if it means doing it on my own. I'm trying to take things one day at a time and remember that every small step forward is progress. Update 2. It's been 2 months since my last update, and things have been moving quickly. The divorce proceedings are underway, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. Ryan initially contested the divorce, claiming that he could change and that we should give our marriage another chance for the sake of the kids. He started attending Gamblers Anonymous meetings and even went to a few sessions with a therapist specializing in addiction. For a moment, I found myself wavering, wondering if I was making the right decision by ending our marriage. However, his actions spoke louder than his words. Despite his promises to get help, he missed his second Gamblers Anonymous meeting, making excuses about work running late. Then, about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from my neighbor. She had seen Ryan trying to sell my car to someone in our driveway while I was at work. When I confronted him, he admitted he was trying to get more money to gamble, convinced he could win back everything he had lost. This incident was the final straw for me. I pushed forward with the divorce proceedings more aggressively. My lawyer advised me to file for sole custody of the children, given Ryan's unstable behavior and financial irresponsibility. It was a hard decision, but I felt it was necessary to protect my kids. The most challenging part has been dealing with our families. Ryan's parents are in complete denial about his gambling addiction. They've been pressuring me to give him another chance, saying that marriage is about sticking together through tough times. They even went as far as to suggest that I was partly to blame for Ryan's gambling, saying that if I had been more supportive of his business, he wouldn't have felt the need to gamble. Their words hurt, especially considering how much I sacrificed to support Ryan's dreams over the years. My own parents, while more understanding, are struggling to accept the idea of divorce. They keep suggesting marriage counseling, not fully grasping that the issue goes far beyond something that can be fixed with a few therapy sessions. I've had to set clear boundaries with both sets of parents, reminding them that this is my decision to make. On a more positive note, I've been working extra shifts at the hospital and have managed to set up a small emergency fund. It's not much, but it gives me a sense of security I haven't felt in a long time. I've also been attending a support group for family members of gambling addicts, which has been incredibly helpful. Hearing other people's stories has made me realize that I'm not alone in this struggle. The kids are slowly adjusting to our new reality. Emma has been seeing a child therapist to help her process everything. She still misses her dad, but she's starting to understand why we can't all live together right now. She's been incredibly brave through all of this, even offering to sell some of her toys to help with money. Of course, I didn't let her do that, but her offer brought tears to my eyes. Liam is too young to fully grasp what's happening, but he's been clingy lately, sensing the upheaval in our lives. He asks for Dada often, which breaks my heart. I'm doing my best to maintain a routine for him, with regular mealtimes and bedtimes, hoping to provide some stability in his little world. As for Ryan, he's been inconsistent in his efforts to see the kids. Some weeks he shows up for every scheduled visit. Other weeks he disappears without explanation. It's hard on the children, but I'm doing my best to provide them with stability and routine. I'm also documenting these inconsistencies for the custody hearings. Looking ahead, I'm focusing on rebuilding our lives. It's daunting to think about starting over at 32 with 2 young kids and a mountain of debt, but I'm determined to make it work. I'm exploring options for advancing my career in nursing, possibly specializing in a field that would allow me to earn a higher salary. I'm also considering taking some online classes to expand my skill set. We've moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment. It's a tight squeeze, but the kids seem to be adjusting well. Emma has been amazing, helping to decorate Liam's side of their shared bedroom and telling him stories at night. Their resilience continually amazes me. One day at a time, we're moving forward. It's not easy, and there are days when I feel overwhelmed by it all. But then I look at my children and I know I'm doing the right thing. They deserve a stable, secure home, and I'm committed to providing that for them, with or without Ryan. Update 3. It's been 6 months since my original post, and I wanted to give a final update on our situation. The divorce was finalized last month. In the end, Ryan didn't contest it, which made the process smoother than I had anticipated. The court granted me primary custody of the children, with Ryan getting supervised visitation rights. The judge took into account Ryan's gambling addiction and the financial damage he had caused our family in making this decision. Financially, things are still tight, but we're slowly climbing out of the hole Ryan left us in. I've taken on a leadership role at the hospital, which came with a pay raise. It means longer hours, but the extra income has been a lifesaver. I've also started a small side business doing medical billing from home, which helps supplement our income. It's exhausting juggling everything, but seeing our debt slowly decrease makes it worth it. Ryan's construction company went bankrupt, and he's now working as a laborer for another construction firm. As part of the divorce settlement, a portion of his wages is automatically deducted to go towards paying off the debt he accumulated. It's not much, but it's something. He seems to be taking his job seriously, which is a positive step. The kids are doing better. Emma has made progress in therapy and is more open about her feelings now. She's back in dance classes. I made it a priority in our budget because I saw how much joy it brought her. She still has days where she misses how things used to be, but overall, she's adjusting well. Last week, she performed in her first recital since everything happened. Seeing her on stage, smiling and confident, made me feel like maybe we were going to be okay after all. Liam is thriving in preschool and seems happier now that there's less tension at home. He's made new friends in our apartment complex and loves playing in the small playground nearby. He still asks about Ryan sometimes, but the questions are becoming less frequent. As for Ryan, he's finally taking his recovery seriously. He's been attending Gamblers Anonymous meetings regularly and has been clean for 3 months now. He even reached out to apologize for the pain he caused us. While I'm proud of him for taking these steps, I'm maintaining firm boundaries. Our interactions are strictly about the kids, and I'm cautious about getting my hopes up too much. I've learned the hard way that actions speak louder than words. My relationship with Ryan's family has improved slightly. After seeing Ryan hit rock bottom, they've started to understand the severity of his addiction and why I made the decision I did. They're not fully supportive yet, but they've stopped pressuring me to reconcile with Ryan, which is a relief. My parents have been my rock through all of this. They watch the kids when I need to work late and have helped out financially when things were really tight. Their support has made this difficult journey a little easier. Looking back, I realize how much I've grown through this experience. I've become stronger, more independent, and more aware of my own worth. There are still days when I feel overwhelmed or doubt myself, but they're becoming less frequent. I'm proud of the example I'm setting for my children, showing them that it's okay to walk away from a situation that's harmful, even when it's difficult. While I never wanted my marriage to end this way, I'm cautiously optimistic about our future. Emma and Liam are happy and healthy, and we're slowly but surely building a new life together. It's not the life I had planned, but I'm starting to see that it can still be a good one. To anyone else out there facing a similar situation, know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's not easy, and there are days when it feels impossible, but you can rebuild your life. Trust your instincts, seek support, and don't be afraid to put yourself and your children first. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement have been invaluable. Here's to new beginnings and a brighter future for me and my kids.